Hey people! To get this party started today, I'm going to show you a picture of me as a kid. I'm sure you could care less, but just humor me. I'm showing you this picture for a reason. This is me when I was in 6th grade. My mom cut my hair. I had hand-me-downs from my sister. I never thought about impressing people. I never felt self-conscious about my appearance. At that age, I didn't pay attention to how other people looked either, or judged their body compared to mine. I just lived my life. You probably have a picture like this, because like me, there was an age for you, even if it was a young one, when you didn't worry about what you look like, and you didn't think about what the people around you look like. You were more innocent than you were self-conscious. You were more carefree than you were insecure. You were more concerned with playing than you were with appearances. But then there's a day when it changes for all of us. At some point, there's a day or a moment when things shift. All of a sudden, we become more aware of how we see ourselves. More than that, we become conscious of how others see us. And boom, just like that, everything changed. This was me in late high school. And this happens at different ages for all of us. Maybe you had a friend who really cared about how they looked. And even though you had never thought about it before, each time they made a comment about themselves, it made you more aware of you. Maybe you had a parent who made some comments about your physical appearance. And whether those comments were positive or negative, it simply got you thinking about the way you look. Maybe it was something that a doctor or pediatrician said to you or about you. Maybe it was something you saw on TV, in a movie, in a YouTube vid, or TikTok, or read in a book. All of a sudden, this form of entertainment made you aware or self-conscious about your body. At some point, we all go from innocent children who could care less about how we look to young adults who are very aware. And that brings us to the topic we're talking about today, body image. Here are some quick definitions of body image. Body image is how you see yourself when you look in the mirror or when you picture yourself in your mind. It includes what you believe about your own appearance, including your memories, assumptions, and generalizations. How you feel about your body, including your height, shape, and weight. How you sense and control your body as you move. How you physically experience or feel in your body. Many of us internalize messages starting at a young age that can lead to either positive or negative body image. Studies show having a healthy body image is an important part of mental well-being and eating disorders prevention. For the record, body image isn't just a girl thing, not even a little bit. This is definitely a guy thing too. Also, it's not just a teenager thing. It's an every adult in this room thing. Almost everyone deals with this in one way or another in their lives, which makes this thing a human thing. At some point, we all think about our bodies, and at some point, it can consume our thoughts. We have a specific way that we view ourselves, and we have a specific way that we think that other people view us. And this can center around any number of things. Things like our height, muscle mass, hair, acne, skin tone, weight. These are all normal body realities that all people deal with. For you, as young adults, they are often complicated by other situations. For example, we all hit puberty at different times, and your body image is definitely affected by that. Your height and your weight is different, your skin is different than the people around you. It can seem to complicate things. If you don't feel as strong or as fast as the people around you, your body image can take a hit. If you don't feel as pretty or stylish as you wish, your body image can take a hit. Or maybe you feel stressed to maintain your image by the way you dress, post, or look. Basically, if you consider anything about the way you look different from the way you wish you looked, it affects how you see yourself. All kinds of factors go into your body image. And why is this a big deal? Why does it matter what we think about our bodies? If everyone deals with this, who cares if we struggle with the way that we look or feel? Well, it's because I think deep down, we're all just trying to figure out an answer to this question. how should we feel about our bodies? In fact, right now, I'm gonna ask a question, and I want you to take a second to think about it. When you think about your own body, what are you most insecure about? Take a few seconds and give it some thought. Trying to figure out how we should feel about our bodies and why we have certain insecurities is exhausting. And searching for an answer causes all sorts of thoughts and actions in our own lives. So if this question is impacting the way we think, live, and feel, then we should see if there's a way to find a truly fulfilling answer. Thankfully, something written a long time ago that we find in the Bible gives us a chance at finding a helpful answer. Most people refer to the Bible as a book. In reality, the Bible is a collection of books that span all types of genres over a long period of time. It's divided into two sections that we typically call the Old Testament and the New Testament. The Old Testament consists of the books before Jesus walked on earth. The New Testament consists of the books that are all about Jesus' life on earth and then what happened afterwards. In the Old Testament, one of the books is called Psalms. It's basically a collection of poetry about God, emotions, worship, pain, relationships, nature, etc. It's a journal to God. A lot of it was written by King David, a famous ancient king of Israel. His life was like a movie. He went through so many ups and downs. In one of his poems, King David said this, "Search me, God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts." Why did David pray this prayer? Why did he ask God to search him? Because he was a human being like the rest of us. He had anxious thoughts like you and I do. And just like us, he struggled to know what to do with those thoughts. And because he didn't know what to do, he asked God for help. Then he continued by saying this, "See if there is any offensive way in me." This was a key phrase to add on to the first part of his prayer. David asked God to help him see if there was any offensive way in him. So not only did he want to recognize his anxious thoughts, he wanted God to help him know which ones were offensive. Maybe you hear that and think, David is asking God to show him what David is thinking about that might make God upset. But think about this verse in light of what we are talking about today in our bodies. God made us with a body. Our bodies are good. So when David asked God to search him and see if there are offensive thoughts, he means, which ones are hurtful to God? Which ones are hurtful towards the way David saw himself? Which ones were in total opposition to the way God saw David? Which ones would be offensive if David said them to someone else? When it comes to body image, you and I need to examine our thoughts. We need to know which ones are offensive to God. And what makes a thought offensive to God? One that doesn't reflect what God thinks. So when we say something like, I'm an idiot, I'm gross, I'm ugly, I look awful, I'm too weak, I'm never gonna look as good as the people around me, this is offensive to God. Why? For one, because God made you, but also because God knows your thoughts need to be taken seriously. Our thoughts impact our actions, our attitudes, our way of being in the world. Not only do thoughts like this steal our joy, they negatively affect the way we act and carry ourselves. In essence, when we don't accept ourselves, we're not able to be ourselves. We're not able to embrace the we that God created us to be. On our own, it's tough enough to not think offensive things about ourselves. But it's even tougher when things are added, like pressure from coaches and parents, influence from media, social media comments, comparisons to other people, assumptions about other people's thoughts of us, and standards to measure up to that we've created for ourselves. It can get really complicated. That's why it's so empowering to get to the end of this passage and see what King David says last. And lead me in the way everlasting. The way everlasting is God's way. It's choosing to think about ourselves in a way that lines up with the way God feels about us. And David wrote something else that helps us get a clear picture of how much we mean to God. He wrote, "I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well." David is saying that God created us and our bodies. We were created and designed by God, and God loves us just as we are right now. God has placed incredible value, worth, and honor on our lives. That's what fearfully and wonderfully means. Every single one of us was created by God and given worth and value that are more than we're able to imagine. Nothing can change that truth. That means instead of obsessing over our bodies like it is the only thing that matters about us or the most important thing about us because a billion-dollar beauty industry tells us so, we remember that God sees us as more than just a body and what we look like on the outside. God made us with minds, emotions, and feelings that make up the whole of who we are. Instead of treating our bodies like they don't matter at all, and they're just something we have to put up with, remember God made us with a body. Our bodies are good. They're the way we experience the world. God's okay with our bodies. We know this because God sent Jesus in a body to earth to have the human experience. Instead of striving and struggling to become whatever image we have in our minds, unhappy with ourselves until we achieve that standard of perfection, we can embrace life, we can cherish it, and make the most of the time God's given us. Before we go past these truths, take another few seconds and think about your answer to this question. Which part of you do you like most? We get to choose a new way to think about ourselves and our bodies. I realize that this isn't always easy. And just hearing the verses we read today don't automatically make the struggle go away. But there are things that we can do to take David's perspective with us into our everyday lives. Start noticing what you think about yourself. We all have so many thoughts about ourselves. I mean, just think about social media. It's easy to notice just how many different thoughts we have about ourselves every time we scroll through different filters before we post on TikTok or Instagram. We cycle through all of these filters as different thoughts about ourselves roll through our head and heart. These kinds of thoughts don't just show up when we're in front of a camera either. They happen all day. So pay attention to what you say to yourself. Be curious about where those thoughts come from. Are they thoughts that would be totally offensive if you said them to someone else? Are they thoughts that would be offensive to God if God heard you say them to you as a creation of God? Ask God to help you see yourself through the lens of love, purpose, and acceptance. And then I want you to make one simple, bold, beautiful declaration. I want you to promise to be kind to yourself. Be kind to the unfiltered version of yourself, the one that's there even when all the filters aren't. However you look or feel right now, be kind to yourself. Even if you don't think you can do it, make the declaration anyway. Just try it for a while. Be kind to yourself to counteract all the negative things you think. Be kind to yourself to battle all the pressure you feel from outside sources and comparison traps. Be kind to yourself because God is full of kindness towards you. Be kind to yourself because you, and you includes your body, deserve kindness. Kind isn't just saying nice words to yourself, by the way. It's also taking care of your body and what it needs. It's about doing what's good for you. And maybe that means you unfollow that account that makes you feel bad. Add new life-giving habits into your routine that make you feel good. Take a break from exercising or maybe even start exercising. Set boundaries around who you listen to or talk to about the way you look. Stop making jokes about yourself or other people. Stop commenting on people's looks all the time. For some of you, The negative thoughts that stem from your body image may have led you down some destructive paths. You've been harmful to your body and you know it. Now you feel stuck in a pattern that you can't seem to get out of. This might be a big step, but maybe today is the day for you to have a one-on-one conversation with your small group leader. They will love you, not judge you. For you, the number one way you can be kind to yourself is to get some help from loving, trusted people as quickly as possible. You deserve that type of help. You are worth it. Just imagine if you started to see yourself, your mind, your body, your whole self, the way God saw you. What if you started to see your body not as a problem to be solved and ignored, but also not the most important thing about you? Instead, what if you started to see your body as a part of what makes you the you that God made? What if we could anchor our body image in truth instead of negativity, the way God intended for us? Wouldn't that be a more freeing, joyful way to live? Let's all start by making one simple decision to be kind to ourselves. As we wrap up, I want you to take our final few seconds and reflect on one more question. What would happen in your life if you chose to be kind to yourself more often?